You know what happens to wizards who fail their exams, don't you, Majeika? They're banished to Britland to become teachers. Goodbye, Majeika.
Sir?
Oh, there you are, Mr. Potter.
As always, Mrs. Bracegirdle.
Ready for the Empire Day festivities?
Yes, the crowning moment in our Barty's school year. I simply can't think what's keeping Majeika.
Shouldn't you be on your way to school now, Majeika?
But I can't go out in this, your worshipfulness.
Oh, don't be silly. It's only a little shower. Got a busy day on then, Majeika?
I certainly have, sir. So if you could possibly see your way clear to...
Oh, very well, Majeika. Is that better?
Much better, sir.
Are you there? Am I here?
Mr. Majeika.
Finally and at last, Mrs. Bracegirdle.
More tasteful Empire Day decorations?
No, it's a head without a body, Mrs. Bracegirdle.
But that, Mr. Majeika, is Mr. Potter's uncle.
Is it really, Mrs. Bracegirdle?
Who did you say today's storm had unearthed wizard tidings? Somebody's old uncle, she was. Really?
Settle down, settle down. That's it. Oh, who threw that? Don't behave like animals. Oh, for goodness sake. Ah, Majeika.
Mr. Potter,
Oh, I'm so pleased to see you.
you'll be even more pleased when you see who I've brought with me, Mr. Potter.
And who's that, Majeika?
Your uncle, Mr. Potter.
Uncle?
Come along, surely it's not difficult to remember who you were.
It is when you've been buried as long as I have, your worshipfulness.
Has anyone tried looking for his wizard Cash's name tapes?
Not one of Majeika's old uncles, is it, your worshipfulness?
It must have been the storm that did it, Majeika. Did what, Mr. Potter?
Did for Mr. Potter's uncle, sir. Made him lose his head.
But I didn't think Britlanders did lose their head, Mr. Potter.
They don't, Mr. Majeika. Mr. Potter's uncle was a fountain, sir.
A fountain?
Oh, my poor uncle!
It's a terrible thing to lose an uncle, you know, sir.
Oh, I know. I once lost an uncle during a game of Hunt the Broomstick.
uncle, was he, sir?
Well, no, not exactly, Melanie, no.
But you were very fond of him all the same, weren't you, sir?
Oh, that I was.
Just like Mr. Potter and his uncle.
But what are we going to do, Mr. Tidings?
Difficult to say, Your Worshipfulness.
He always was a bit of a problem.
Yes, like somebody else we know.
Mr. Majeika has offered to do what, children?
Make you a new uncle, Mr. Potter.
But nobody knows what my Uncle Erasmus looked like anymore, children.
We know, Mr. Potter, which is why Mr. Majeika is...
Thinking of honouring a present-day preeminent Potter. Mr. Potter.
Oh, I say, Majeika.
Just leave everything to me in Class 3, Mr. Potter.
Class 3, Majeika? But are you sure Class 3 are up to this, Majeika?
Oh, yes, Mr. Potter. Pottery and plasticine have always been my biggest success.
Yes. But you haven't forgotten what else is happening today, have you, Majeika?
Yes.
Why, it's
Vampire Day?
In Britland, Your Worshipfulness, today.
You quite sure about that?
Pretty sure, Your Worshipfulness.
But what exactly is it that Britlanders celebrate on Empire Day, Mr. Potter?
why we celebrate what this country has given to the world.
And what has Britland given to the world, Mr. Potter?
Thick cup marmalade? Thick cup cricket, Majeika?
Oh, I know. Crisp green little things. Make lovely pâtés.
I was thinking more of the sound of leather against willow, Majeika.
Ah.
And finally, pageantry, Majeika.
Pageantry, Mr. Potter?
Which we salute today by mounting Bunty Bracegirdle on the Barty Bottles milk. Those were the days, Majeika, when the name Kipling meant more than just a man who makes cakes. Well, you look after the decorations, and I'll tell the ladies about our latest Bartian.
So you're having a special day in Britland, Majeika.
Oh, I believe so, your worshipfulness. Yes.
Which is why Miss Tidings and I thought we'd send you a visitor.
A visitor, sir? What sort of visitor, sir?
One of your uncles.
Not Uncle Bulbous Crowfoot, sir.
No. One of your other uncles, Majeika.
Not Billy Bloodcup, sir.
That's the one, that's the one. We thought it'd be company for you, seeing that it's Vampire Day in Britland.
But it's not Vampire Day, sir. It's Empire Day.
Oh, and we've sent you a vampire.
In disguise.
And Mr. Majeika is in charge of this particular blessing, is he, Mr. Potter?
Oh, yes. In fact, he and Class 3 are beavering away even as we speak. You see, Mr. Majeika sees it as being a tribute to someone held in very high regard in much Barty, Bunty.
Oh, I say, what a simply spiffing idea.
There you are, Majeika.
Oh, Mr. Potter. I just thought...
Yes?
I just thought I'd pop out for a spot more bunting, Mr. Potter.
No need, Majeika. Are not those the tinkling voices of Class 3 telling us that it's time to choose the best of the busts, Majeika?
Oi!
For Uncle.
Oh, Uncle.
Well.
Over here, Mr. Potter. Look at mine, Mr. Potter. Mine's the biggest, Mr. Potter.
Yes. Mr. Potter, I think you might possibly prefer Melanie's and His Highness's, Mr. Potter.
Oh, I say, Majeika.
It's you to a T, Mr. Potter.
So it is. He would be so proud, would Uncle? His uncle.
What is it, sir?
Come along, girls. Put your shoulders into it.
A real vampire, sir?
Oh, well, practically, yes. And I've just got to find him.
Before he bumps into Mummy's party lady's bright hour.
Stop, ladies, stop. Right. Haven't you seen the notice?
Much party. No hookers, no beggars, no riffraff. But I isn't riffraff, lady. I's just a dear old vampire.
Come on, girls. Ho!
Any sign of him yet, sir?
No sign of him, Melanie.
It's a nice patch you got here, lady. Certainly beats lying in a load of mould with a lot of tickly slugs, that's for sure. Yes. All in all, I think I could be really zappies here.
Sir, there seems to be quite a crowd around the party hardware store, sir. That's his uncle, all right, Melanie.
How do you know, Sam? He's hanging upside down.
Nephew, my cheeky!
Uncle Billy Bloodcup.
It's been a long time, nephew, my cheeky. Must be 100 years.
200 years. Oh.
What did I tell you, Miss Wotherspoon? Birds of a feather.
Oh, it's a splendid new head we've got for you, Uncle. I just know you're going to like it.
But it isn't Vampire Day. It's Empire Day.
Same thing.
Not in Britland, it isn't, Uncle.
And are you really a vampire?
Well, I certainly ain't the Sugar Plums fairies, is I, duckies?
But do you still, you know?
Bite necks? Nah, I hasn't bitten a good neck in years. No, I is a vegetarian vampire now, see? So now, all I eats is things.
What kind of things?
Any kind of things. Really? Isn't that right, nephew, my cheeky? You is pleased to see me, isn't you, nephew, my cheeky?
Well, of course I am, Uncle. It's just that...
Just at what?
Just that it isn't very convenient today.
Not
that's all.
convenient?
So you really must stay hidden.
Hidden?
Here for the rest of the day.
But I've already been hidden for years, nephew, my cheeky.
Problems, Majeika?
Well, you couldn't possibly balloon him back up, sir, could you, sir?
Out of the question, I'm afraid, Majeika. You see, we've no room for him anymore, Majeika. In fact, we were rather hoping he might be able to stay in Britland permanently.
Permanently, sir? Oh, Ah, there you are, Majeika.
Ah, Mr. Potter.
All ready for the unveiling, are you, Majeika?
Unveiling, Mr. Potter.
Of the preeminent profile which will henceforward grace our Barty fountain, eh, Majeika?
Oh, that, Mr. Potter.
Hurry up, sir, or we'll miss out on the Empire Day festivities, sir.
Dead roses for a desiccated lady.
How dare you! Come along, Miss Wotherspoon. Let's go and sample the cut and come again cake.
Cool. Now I could fancy a bite out of her. Happy Empire Day. Should read Happy Vampire Day, eh, nephew, my cheeky?
I thought I told you to stay put.
I didn't want to stay put. It's far too hot in your whirly mill for a cold-blooded vampire like me. And besides, when you've been stuck away as long as I have, you want to be out and about.
Mr. Potter,
What is it now, Hamish?
don't feel very well, Mr. Potter.
Someone else not feeling too well, Majeika?
Must have been something they ate, sir.
Nels, where you taking me, nephew, my cheeky?
To the school trophy cupboard, where you will remain out of sight until Empire Day is over.
I don't want to stay out of sights again, nephew, my cheeky! Tasty! Very tasty!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the moment for which we have all been waiting. A special event on this most special of days. And thanks to Mr. Majeika and Class 3, we now have a fantastic new head to ennoble the body of my Uncle Erasmus. So come now, let us repair to the old Barty fountain. where we will reveal my uncle in his renewed true splendor.
Nephew Majeika!
I'm sorry, Uncle, but you simply cannot stay here.
Can't? But where else can I go, Nephew Majeika?
Back.
To Walpurgis? But they don't want me, there's neithers. That's why they sent me down here.
But vampires aren't allowed in Britland anymore, are they, Uncle?
But I was a dear old vampire, really.
Well, I know you are. I know.
Who made you your wand box for your first day at sorcery school?
You did, Uncle Billy Bloodcup.
And who bought you your first spell book?
You did, Uncle Billy Bloodcup.
And who made you nice worm and winter savoury sandwiches for your lunchbox?
You did.
And now you talks about chucking me out when I wouldn't be in anybody's ways, I promise.
I don't really want you to go, it's just...
If only there was somewhere nice and damp for me. Somewhere I wouldn't be in a scraps of trouble.
Mr. Majeika! Mr. Majeika!
Whatever's happened now, children?
It's Hamish Bigmoss, sir. He smashed our head and replaced it with his own.
Oh, no.
And now, the time has come to pull aside the ceremonial cloth, kindly lent to us as usual by the nimble thimble wool shop.
You've got to do something, sir, and quickly.
But what can I do, children? You really want to stay here, Uncle?
Oh, yes, Majeika.
Somewhere prominent.
Yes, Majeika.
Somewhere damp, you say?
Yes, Majeika.
And so, fellow Bartians, it gives me no little pleasure. Come on.
Hey, what's going on?
Reveal to you all that certain someone.
Have you taken leave of your senses, Mr. Potter? How dare you honour that diabolical, that despicable little...
Billy Bloodcup, Mummy.
So Vampire Day ended on a happy note after all, eh, Majeika?
Yes, sir.
And you were pleased to see your dear old uncle again, weren't you?
Oh, yes, sir.
And now he can be with you all the time without being a scrap of trouble, eh, Majeika?
Yes, sir.